Everyone knows Bill Maher. Some people like him a lot. Some people don't like him so much. Whatever the case, though, a lot of people know who he is, and he has a lot of cultural influence, for better or for worse. And today, we're going to see a fun and, one could say, spicy interaction between him and Candace Owens. But first, please make sure you like the video, comment, and most importantly, subscribe so we can keep bringing these videos to you. I'm your host, Darian, with Resist the Mainstream, and let's get right into the video.
As I said before, I don't trust the media on anything because they never give you the full story. So I will allow that there could be this element to the story that is part of the story. I don't think it will probably change my mind that Donald Trump would not concede an election, kept saying it was a fake and that he had all these reasons to believe that people had voted, like 10,000. He said to the Raffensperger on the call, Raffensperger actually corrected him and said, you know, you claimed that there was 10,000 dead people who voted in Georgia. We looked and we looked and we looked. It was 2. That sums it all up. There was actually 2. Now, he's not on trial for lying. You're apparently allowed to lie to the American people about elections, even though nobody ever really did that before. But okay, he's on trial for breaking specific laws. Forgery.
Well, I mean,
forgery.
Before Stacey Abrams
He
contested
forged
her election and said that it was.
Well, that's.
So let's be.
Yes, but okay, you're right. Yeah. I concede.
Okay, Hillary Clinton took a very long time. I don't think she's
Hillary Clinton was there before the night was over in her purple suit conceding the election.
She didn't. She slept in. You're wrong.
No, I'm not
You're
wrong.
John Podesta came to the podium and said,
it was before dawn of the next day.
Okay, my point is that saying that there was...
You lost your point.
No, I didn't lose my point. My point is that you're saying
that... about Hillary, you were. Hillary conceded as soon as it was obvious that she lost.
The thing that I'm trying to get you to say, though, we know that you hate Trump. That has been abundantly obvious.
Yes,
I actually think that Trump out of office...
For good reason.
Was a good thing for your show because it allowed you to...
It's not about my show, Candace. No. That's insulting.
No.
That's insulting.
I'm saying because people that weren't watching your show... You didn't let me finish. You can't be told by sentence I didn't finish.
No, but you keep implying that
I was going to say that people that did not watch your show because there was so much dedication to talking about Trump during those years, then were switched onto your show because you moved on and you started talking about other topics that were crucial and I think brought in more of a conservative base.
Can we
That's
just
not insulting to say.
Yeah, it is. Can we just have this professional courtesy that I concede and I believe you believe everything you say.
Yeah.
Give me the same courtesy.
I said I believe you hate Trump. And
you're saying I'm doing things for ratings or to bring in a different audience.
I didn't bring up ratings. I actually believe that literally amongst my audiences, more conservatives started watching you post-Trump.
Yes.
Myself included.
But that's a big...
That's not bad. I'm sorry I said you got a bigger audience now. Oh my gosh, are you going to cry yourself to sleep? More people like me.
No. You ascribed a reason to it that's not true. I do have a bigger conservative audience and a less woke audience probably. More people who are common sense centrist. Good, fine. I didn't do it for that reason.
I never said you did it for that reason.
I
did not imply that.
Okay, fine.
I didn't. I genuinely meant what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think when
Trump got out of office, you started focusing on different topics other than Trump. And people were able to see that.
Well, he wasn't president anymore, of course.
I'm not faulting you. I'm just making a comment that I think that your audience base has gotten a lot bigger since Trump left office. Some people might even take that as a compliment.
Different.
Crazy, but some people might take this as a compliment.
Thank you. Well, for that part, yeah.
Yeah, because you're talking about, like we just talked about, trans kids and bringing up geography and things. And I think that while Trump was in office, and this is not just your show, it was even my show. I think everything was about Trump. Everything was about Trump.
I agree.
Right? And it wasn't. It's never been that way for any other president. And not everything was about Obama.
Other presidents weren't not like that.
We have definitely. I think I believe that there.
All right. So just a couple of quick points there that I think we should address. I think it's very obvious that first of all that Bill Maher has quite a case of TDS, short for Trump derangement syndrome, and let's keep in mind, Bill Maher is widely regarded as one of the reasonable liberals, right? He's like, he's the centrist liberal. He's more reasonable than the rest of the left or Democrat Party, whatever you want to say. And that kind of is alluded to in that conversation because he starts saying, he kind of acknowledges with Candace when she triggered him by saying that he was a little less obsessed with Trump after he got out of office. Maher was saying, well, yeah, we have centrists come and watch our show and stuff. That's great. That's what we're working with here. That's the reasonable in the middle type. And then another thing Candace mentioned that I think is key to notice is that she tells Bill, now that Trump's out of office, you're not just talking about Trump all day. And, she acknowledges it was her talking about Trump all day, other people too, because former President Trump was dominating the conversation politically for most people, right or left or whatever they might be. But yeah, Candace mentions that with the trans issues, for example, Maher's talking more about that, like with the trans kids, quote unquote trans kids, for example, and just, how bonkers the whole idea is. What's interesting about that is there was a time in 2019 when Maher had Dennis Prager on his show, a very popular, well-known conservative commentator. And Prager had mentioned that at UC Berkeley, they were handing out tampons in the men's restroom, and that leftists, some of them, would believe that men menstruate. At the time, Bill Maher laughed, ridiculed him. You should see the clip. It's crazy. He laughed at Prager, ridiculed him, acted like he was a nut job for even bringing it up. And what's funny is Prager was bringing up the left's own talking points to Bill Maher. And then Maher was saying that that made Prager crazy. And now you see Maher 5 years later talking about these issues and saying, the left has gone mad. How could they do such a thing? You look at this and just think, well, Bill, we tried to warn you. And you kind of laughed at us and ridiculed us and spat in our face. Just saying, but... I digress. Anyways, let's keep watching the video.
And we can disagree on this. I think that from the second he announced that he was coming down, there was a media obsession with taking him down like I've never seen. It actually woke me up. I was on the liberal side and it turned me into a conservative. It was vicious. It was nasty. It was calling him things that he wasn't.
There
you
but
didn't participate in that. But pretending that Trump was like a avowed racist that was trying to bring back the Klansmen was a little bit like dramatic,
But that happens with every president and everybody who gets that high up in the tree. When I don't know how far back it goes, probably to George Washington, when a person is the one who's going to be in power, the people who want to prevent that, who think oppositely of how he thinks or she thinks, yes, that's what they do. They try to destroy. They didn't try to destroy Obama.
Not in the way that they come on Trump. You had the Lisa Bloom
please.
period where you had
Candace.
85 million women that came out of the woodwork with allegations. Where were you guys? He's been in the public sphere for the last 30 years. He's had shows. Where were you guys with your allegations before he announced running president? I mean, it was so obviously a ratchet job. And these things matter to you because it doesn't matter.
One of them's on
It doesn't
tape.
matter. It doesn't
matter.
matter.
One of them's right from the horse's mouth
One of
saying,
them-
I grabbed.
He didn't say I grabbed.
He did!
He said he was talking about groupies. He said they will literally let you do anything, including grab them by the
He wasn't
P
talking
word.
about groupies.
Yeah, he was.
He never said that word. He said, when you're a star.
Yes.
That's quite a leap to say we're just talking about groupies. And by the way...
He didn't say, I grabbed this woman by the P word. And I think that's a part of when I say there's so many media hoaxes. Just be honest.
He said, you can grab him by the... He said, you can grab him by the...
Yeah.
And you can do anything. You can grab him by the
these girls,
pussy.
when they see a star, that's literally, by the way, just to be clear, that's a fact.
But just to be clear, you shouldn't do that,
But
right?
you shouldn't. Yes, but let's just be honest about what he said. This is locker room talk. Men talking about, I hang out with a lot of athletes, about women that throw themselves on them simply because of who they are, and they'll let you do anything to them.
But
we do live in this
just to put
economy of women who will quite literally let men, especially now with the birth of OnlyFans and TikTok and the rise of becoming a star, that if you are a star, they will let you do whatever they want. And then the media pretended he said, I personally went in and grabbed a woman by the P word. It's locker room talk. Is it crass? Yes. Do women also speak crass when men aren't looking? Yes. I'm very much, I'm not saying this is great speech, and I would love to hear if my husband was saying this about, but I'm just trying to be rational and not be like Me Too crazy and acknowledge that both men and women have locker room talk.
I have an important question. Where can I find these women?
Just a quick thing. You notice that interaction right there. I think the TDS of Bill Maher very clearly shows where he's at best being disingenuous when he says that about Trump. He's at worst lying when he goes, Trump said that he grabbed a woman by the P word. Candace very clearly corrected that context. But once again, I bring that up because Bill Maher is what many people define as the reasonable liberal, the one in the center. Oh yeah, he understands how crazy the left has gone. Yet, does anyone seriously think he's going to vote for Trump in 24? Calling it now, he votes for Biden. Even after saying how crazy Biden the left has become, he'll still do it. We'll see if that ages well. Let's keep going. Sure,
you've had your fair share, Bill, in Los Angeles, where everyone's trying to be a star or be in the industry or sleep with a star, of women that have thrown themselves on you.
I live strictly for America and what I can do.
And Jesus Christ, right?
Well, not Jesus Christ, but I live strictly to educate, to edutain America. That's where all my energy goes. I wish I had time for something.
Well, guys, I think that wraps it up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I think it's very clear that Candace, one could say she cooked Maher in that exchange. And we very much look forward to seeing you next time. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Peace.